It's marathon season, and right now, recreational runners in their 40s and 50s are watching from the sidelines, quietly thinking, I wonder if I could run a marathon. If that sounds like you, you've come to the right place. My name is Brian, and I created Midlife Marathoner to provide a community for people like us who have big running goals, but are worried that maybe we started a little too late. Let me assure you, you haven't started too late. I didn't start running until I was 43 years old, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing at the time. But eventually, I figured it out. And over the last decade, I've completed 6 full marathons, and I'm currently training for my 7th. And along the way, I became an RRCA certified running coach so that I could help midlife runners like you achieve your personal running goals and become a midlife marathoner. In early 2014, I developed this strange urge to run a 5K. It was strange because up until that point, I had never been a runner. But the urge wouldn't go away, and eventually I gave in and registered for my first 5K without any idea how to train for it. I downloaded this app that promised to help people used to sitting on a couch finish a 5K. And on race day, I was very happy to learn that it worked. And when I crossed that finish line and earned my first medal, I was hooked. If you're watching this, I imagine you might be familiar with that feeling, whether from completing your own first race or from building a new habit of running consistently a few times each week. For me, earning this, my first medal, for a race called Expedition Everest Challenge, led to me thinking about what else I might be able to accomplish. I started to dream big, and before long, I started to wonder if I could run a marathon. As crazy as it sounded, I decided to find out if I could achieve that seemingly impossible dream. I found a marathon that was 9 months away, and I figured that was plenty of time to train. So I registered for the race. What I learned is that 9 months is certainly plenty of time to train for a marathon, if you know what you're doing. But if you're clueless like I was, a lot of that time is spent figuring out what doesn't work for you, and then starting over and trying something else. During that time, I tried to find a coach, but I wasn't able to find someone that I could relate to, so I was stuck trying to figure it out on my own. And to be honest, it was a complete disaster. I ran too far, too fast, for too long, and I didn't allow myself enough time to recover between workouts. And after 9 months of trial and error, I wound up injured 2 weeks before that first marathon. When race day arrived, I gave it my best shot. I had worked too hard not to try. But I fell short that day. By mile 22, I was simply limping as fast as I could, and it wasn't enough. I missed the cutoff, and I got swept from the course. I had to ride a shuttle to the finish area rather than run across the finish line. I was devastated, but I was also determined to regroup and return the following year to finish my story. Over the next few months, while I let my body recover, I started looking for a coach again. But I was still unable to find someone I could relate to. But don't get me wrong, I found plenty of coaches, but most of them worked with athletes that were younger, faster, and more fit than me. And they didn't seem to understand that in my mid-40s, my schedule was jam-packed with work and family obligations. I had serious concerns about injury risk, and quite frankly, my body took longer to recover between workouts than the younger athletes they were used to working with. So I set out again to train on my own. Fortunately, after more than a year of that trial and error method, I had learned just enough to piece together a training plan that I thought should at least be able to get me across the finish line. And in January 2016, I did just that. I returned to that race where I had fallen short just a year prior. Only this time, I ran across the finish line. I wasn't fast, but after 2 long years, I was finally a marathoner. A midlife marathoner. Since that day, I've completed 5 more marathons, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm currently training for number 7. This one will be my first world major in London. I am so excited about this opportunity, and over the next 6 months, I'll be documenting my entire training process here on this channel. It may sound silly to some, but being a marathon runner has become a big part of my identity, and it's a transformation I never expected. Over the years, I've found myself encouraging other runners of a similar age to pursue their running goals. And I've learned that I'm not the only one who struggled to find guidance for this stage of life. That's why I decided to earn my running coach certification, so that I could combine science-backed, evidence-based training methods with my personal experience of running, training, and racing in my 40s and now 50s in order to help other midlife runners pursue their personal running goals. If any of my story resonates with you, I invite you to join me. Hit that subscribe button and become a part of this community as we train together in pursuit of our running goals. If you're currently training for a race, or if you're looking into a specific race distance, let me know that in the comments section. And if you're curious about hiring a running coach to help you pursue your goals, visit midlifemarathoner.com to learn more. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again soon.